I'm going on just for a second to tell everyone. Sorry, I'm not feeling well, so I'm canceling tonight's show. I'm sorry, Gigi, I can't do it, man. Something came up, and I've got a terrible cold. I just can't do it tonight, man. Can we do it tomorrow? Yeah, let's do it tomorrow. Sorry, folks.
Like your style. Conscious woman. The reason why you love because you are a virtuous woman. You make me laugh, you make me smile. I even stop and think a while. Girl, I wanna put you on my file. I treat you gentle, baby, meek and mild. You're the queen and I'm the king. What's the love and joy you bring? You ignite the flames in me. Your little beauty's like the butterfly. You're so precious like the river Nile. You bring me fun, you bear my child. In your loving arms, that's where I wanna stir. Don't let this loving slip away. In your loving arms, that's where I wanna fly. Don't let this loving go astray. The serious girl, the way you're rolling, everyone is gonna like your style. Conscious woman, the reason why you love you, cause you are a virtuous woman. Girl, in the morning when the rooster rise, well, we gonna make some pleasant nights. Here's the feeling we won't compromise. Hey, it's like going on the moon. Oh, when the flower bloom, but not too soon. We need more space, maybe we need more room. Hey, the serious girl, the way you roll, like everyone is gonna like your style. Conscious woman, the reason why I love you, cause you are a virtuous woman. And that's where we start. Girl, come along. We stick together, make a plan. You see, you're so special, I know you are the one. Serious girl, the way you roll, like everyone is gonna like your style. Hey, conscious woman, the reason why you love you, cause you are a virtuous woman. Hey, na na, hey, 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 oh na na na, hey, hey, I got so serious girl. The way you roll it, everyone is gonna like your style.
Well, that was definitely not the right intro. Welcome back to the Monster Castle Paranormal Radio. I don't know what's going on with that intro. That's terrible. But it seems I've lost my intro. But that's okay. I'll find it back for the next show. Okay. We're here with Adam Ambrose. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm all right. I like staying up all night. I'm nocturnal.
Yeah, I've been staying up late. I'm pretty nocturnal myself.
So how have you been, though? Like, are they still bothering you, though?
Well, yeah. I mean, I have ongoing experiences. Not as much activity as, say, 10, 15, 20 years ago. But I'm aware of being taken, screwed around with, like, I guess you could say at least once a month. I mean, I've been waking up sometimes with, like, cuts that aren't, like, just scratches, but, like, they look like scalpel cuts, almost like skin was excised, like a skin sample. And I've been documenting that, taking pictures of it. It's pretty strange.
Yeah. I've had a few things like that happen to me too, where little cuts and stuff that I don't know, and just you get that feeling that, you know, something weird happened.
Yeah, because I know, like, if my cat scratches me while I'm sleeping, that has a distinct look to it. But these are like cuts, and some of them are deep and took a long time to heal. And I don't remember getting it, and, like, I didn't even feel it until it started to itch, and I'd reach down to scratch it, and I go, like, when did that happen? I mean, it's very not normal. You know, it jumps out at you. So I took a picture of that. That happened at least a couple times in the last 3 months, more like 3 or 4 times, actually. But that's not that strange for me. I mean, that's happened off and on my whole life. And they heal over. And you, after a while, you don't even see the scar. So they're getting away with it, I guess you could say.
Like I said, I don't know if you heard from the last show, I was born with a scar in the shape of a triangle.
Oh, that's strange.
Yeah, and it, like, it kind of was like a white. The skin was all white there. And it, not until I was probably about 30 years old did it fade away. And it was like a perfect equilateral triangle. And it started getting rougher around the edges as I grew. But that was freaky.
Just no explanation. Just, yeah, that's strange. Wow.
I'm pretty sure I was abducted too. I had this big red fireball thing chase me around my tobacco field, and my brother took off. He was with me, and then I hid in a ditch, and then and this thing came over top of me, and then I had a time loss. So
when was this?
That was in 2001, I think.
Wow.
And it was
amazing.
Yeah, this is Whisper. That is Adam's voice you're hearing. Adam Ambrose is on with the Wolfman. Yeah. So somehow I gotta find my intro back. I can't understand why I don't have the intro to my show. I can't find it tonight for some reason. I must have erased it by accident somehow. It's kind of weird. It throws me right off when I don't have that intro. You don't know what to do. So yeah. Anyways, yeah. This fireball I saw was shooting down this blue energy field, like in a conical shape, towards the ground, and it flashed like lightning. Like I never heard anyone else say that there's a lot of fireball sightings, but the one I saw was shooting energy beams down at the Earth, and it was coming towards me, shooting these beams down.
That's that's something I've heard, but that you don't hear that often. It was like a red, you said?
More like an orange, like, and it looked like a plasma or fire, like around the surface of this round sphere, but it was shooting down a blue, and it looked almost hazy, almost like a tie-dye effect in the, but very sharp outlines on the conical shape it was shooting down. And I don't know what the hell.
Like a beam instead of like it wasn't like a widely dispersed glowing light. It was like a directed beam.
No, it went out in a cone shape, but it had very sharp outlines and it flashed like lightning. It was very well defined. It looked like something out of Star Trek.
That would scare the hell out of me.
Oh, it was scary, man. I gotta say. Well, like my brother took off. He left me there by myself. Yeah.
Yeah, that. I was out on the lake once at my parents' house, and I saw a strobe light going. It started small, it was like green, and then it got bigger and bigger. It freaked me out, and I ran inside the house, and then later I realized it was these kids that lived down the lake from my parents playing a prank on me, because they saw me sitting out there, and I had like a flashlight, and they had one of the, I don't know what it was, like an emergency flashing road type, what do you call those things? They blink off and on. But this was really bright and strange looking. It really scared me, because you don't just see something like that every day. And I didn't know it was a prank at first. I thought it might be after a while, but it was very scary. So I can imagine seeing what you saw, then having the missing time, of course.
Yeah.
It's pretty intense.
Yeah, we got people coming in late, so I'm glad we're doing this. Yeah, there's another guy that had something happen. Yeah. Mr. C might phone in too. I'm going to see if I can get him to phone in. So what did you see that, like, can you tell me a little bit about your encounters? Did you see any craft? Or did you just realize that or did you see any actual entities, or how did you come to realize that what was happening to you was an abduction scenario?
Yeah, I mean, that's a long story. It's complicated, but it started just very early on, from the time I was a little kid, and I was having regular visitations. I mean, I did see entities in my house twice when I was a little kid, like under 10 years old, and the typical things that were happening were like very typical nighttime abductions, but also daytime abductions during the day in school. In grade school, I was having missing time during the day, but like at night, waking up and knowing I was going to be visited, and I was just really, really scared as a little kid sometimes. And then I would see, sometimes, I think I was already in an altered state of awareness before I'd see a ball of light come in my room. Sometimes just a gray would walk in, 2 or 3 would walk in my room. Very vivid memories of laying in the bed, just paralyzed, trying to scream and can't scream, terrified, but not always terrified. It happened so regularly that I got used to it, and they conditioned me to. They were like having conversations with me on the craft sometimes, and I remember it, like, we're your friends, and they did the staring procedure and calmed me to the point where, well, they manipulated my emotions, so I felt like I loved them, and this is all when I was very young. It was weird. It was like I was aware of it as a real thing. Like, I was like, oh, my friends are going to come and visit me. And it was weird because sometimes I'd be terrified and sometimes I wouldn't. But I knew it was real because very early on, I have multiple times, I've had witnesses. Like, I remember when I was a kid, I had this experience where, a nighttime experience, where the craft landed in my yard, a small craft, like the size of a pop tent. And the next day I went out in the yard, and there were these, like holes, these deep holes in the ground where it had been sitting. And I told my father, I said, I had this weird dream last night that this spaceship was sitting on the ground right there. And he was like, that's just a dream, madam, it's just a dream. And so these weird things kept happening like that to tell me this is more than just a dream. Like, it kept showing up physically. And then one time, I was in my own room. I knew they were coming. All of a sudden, I got freaked out. I was so scared. I don't know why. I ran down the hallway and jumped into my parents' bedroom. I was wide awake, and I saw 3 grays walk in the room. I was wide awake. I remember it so clearly, and I was just freaked out, confused. I was like, I didn't want to go. I was like, just starting to realize I was being manipulated, and I just thought of them. I didn't even think of them as aliens. I was just like, what the hell? They just look like weird, skinny little monkeys to me. I remember thinking that.
So they try to erase your memory, but it doesn't work on some people.
Right, it doesn't.
Yeah, it didn't work on me. It worked on my brother, but it didn't work on me. I think he was abducted too. He took off on his bike the one way, and I think he was abducted too. The next morning, I told him about it. He didn't remember. He would never have remembered any of it had I not reminded him what happened. And then he went, "Oh my God!" I would have never remembered that. It was totally blocked from his memory until I told him about it. So that's what I think. You're one of those people that it doesn't work on you. That's what Wisteria Whisper says in the chat room too. She pointed that out, and I totally agree with her.
I think that's true to a great extent, and it's also true that it does work sometimes because I have limited memories of being on the craft, although I do have a lot of memories. Being on a craft, different procedures were being done. There's just, I've had so many more memories of just partial events where I'll just remember being taken or being returned.
Yeah, see, because you're right, because I don't remember the actual going on the craft. I remember laying there, I remember the thing coming over top of me, and then I had like 2 hours lost time. So, it did partially, you're right, it did partially work on us. That's for sure.
Yeah. And I see that in my own family members because my brother, who's older than me, we talked about this like 20 years ago. He was going home from work one day, it was late at night, and he's had a strong, compelling feeling, like he had to pull over. And he pulls over inexplicably behind this like mini mart, and it was like all dark. And I think the mini mart was closed. It was like real late. And he saw a UFO. He saw a star moving erratically, making right-angle turns. And he had missing time following that. And I said, well, do you have any memories of being abducted? And he said, no, but he's afraid to explore it. He doesn't want to explore it. He doesn't want hypnosis. So it's in my family. I know that. From the time we were little kids. One time he said, that same brother said that he used to sit at the window waiting for Peter Pan to come back because one night he said he had a weird dream that Peter Pan came through the window, took him through the window, and they flew away. And ever since then, he'd sit by the window waiting for Peter Pan to come back. That was when he was like 7 or 8 years old.
Hey, Adam, it's Eric.
Yeah, I was just going to mention that. Eric's here.
Oh, Eric. Oh, hey.
I was sleeping and I woke up and I saw the show was on. So then I saw you were calling in, so I jumped on.
Yep, it was totally spontaneous. I just went on Twitter, saw the tweet.
Right on, man. Wolfman's a cool dude. I like Wolfman. He's awesome.
Well, thank you. I like you too, buddy.
Yeah. Right on, brother. We've had some fun times on the Wolfman Show, Adam. You want to listen to some archive shows, you get some good laughs.
I have to go back and listen. Yeah, no, when I left Twitter, I wasn't listening to a lot of shows. No, I mean, not even like Heather.
No,
Was it like 3:22 in the morning where you are, Adam, more or less?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, it's late. You guys are awesome. I can't believe you can stay up so late.
You know, I'm really sleepy by now, but I'm not.
Right on.
Worn out.
Hey, Wolfman, have you heard Adam's stories much at all, or do you know his stories?
I know bits and pieces, but I think we're going to have him on for a full show. I think he's coming on Hologram Matrix this week, isn't he?
Yeah, Quantum Hologram Matrix on Wednesday. I'm excited because he's going to get to tell his story how he wants to tell it, and we're not going to sit there and distract him with a bunch of stupid questions.
And what time does that show come on?
That'll be 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific, 5 to 7, 8 to 10. The Quantum Hologram Matrix on Spaceball Universe on Spreaker.
So what is that Pacific time?
Yeah, Pacific 5 to 7, and then 8 to 10 on the Eastern Coast. So it'll be 8 o'clock when Adams comes on, right after the initial John Polk comes on and talks for briefly, and then he gets right into the interview. And then I'm going to get to talk to Adam a little bit also, like halfway through the show. I get to come on and talk to him for a little while also.
And you get to talk to him right now.
Yeah, I know. I'm excited. Adam, one of the stories that I like, well, I shouldn't say I like, but that I'm sure you didn't like it, but it stuck out in my mind, that always kind of pops into my head when you start talking about your experiences, was, I don't know if Wolfman's, have you heard the story, Wolfman, where Adam talks about the time he was in a school. It's happened. I think it's happened more than once for Adam, but I remember the one time there was I'm trying to remember the best I can, Adam, and you can kind of pick up for me. But you were in a school situation. I think you were in, I forget, maybe the bathroom or somewhere. And then there was the guy that's the janitor.
Oh, right.
And then and somehow the janitor saw one of these beings come through the wall. And do you remember that? You talked about that before, the whole through the wall beings and all that, and what happened then? Do you remember that?
Yeah, that was the story I told on Midnight in the Desert that night when Art interviewed me.
Can you tell that to Adam? Have you heard that one, Adam?
Yeah.
Excuse me. Have you heard that one, Wolfman? I'm sorry.
That's all right. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Adam.
You wanted me to retell that whole thing?
Yeah, please do.
That was a daytime event. That was, I believe it was like in the, well, I know it was 7th or 8th. I can't pin it down. I think it was 8th grade. I would have been 13. And it was during the day. I was sitting in the classroom, and I had a premonition that I was going to be visited, that I just knew I was going to be taken. And I suppose at that point, I was probably already in a slightly altered state of awareness, because I wasn't really afraid. I was just sort of like open and receptive to it, like taking orders. Like I felt almost like an order, go downstairs. Like this was like a 2-story building, and it had like a basement level, which didn't have many classrooms. It was just like a wood shop and the locker rooms, so it's creepy down there. And, you'd think if you have a premonition to go down in the basement, you're not going to do it. But I did it. And so I go down there not too long after I'm staying in the hallway. And but I'm still like feeling totally wide awake and lucid, And I see a ball of light at the end of the hallway appear, and it starts moving toward me. Now I know at some point, before that ball of light got up close to me, my consciousness was altered, so it becomes this, like the Oz Factor. It becomes really soupy and like dreamlike, but it's still a really vivid memory, though, that this ball of light got really close to me. And I'm trying to remember the exact sequence of events. I may screw this up, but I believe it transformed into a gray right there in the hallway. And there was this janitor's closet that jutted out from the hallway. And we walked into the janitor's closet. and there was communication between me and the being. And I remember as I'm standing there, and the being's like real close to my face, like doing the staring procedure, trying to calm me, make sure I'm ready to go. I noticed a janitor walk in. I'm not like turning and staring at him, but I can see him, my peripheral vision. The janitor walks in, he's staying there, and then he just freezes. And he's just like staring, gets frozen. They freeze him. And then the being and me, the being turned into a ball of light. We teleported like on a beam of light through the brick wall, out of the janitor's closet, and then floated down the hallway. And it's just totally crazy telling these stories, but just bear with me. And so we go down the hallway and then go all the way on the other side of the hallway, make a big U-turn. And to make a long story short, this is the boring part. We went into a classroom, a student was abducted. All I remember is teleporting out of a school window, going up to a craft. I don't remember being on the craft, but I remember coming back. And then when we came back and to the janitor's closet, we came down the hallway, and then the being turned back into a gray, transformed from a ball of light to a physical being. So did I, but we walked through the wall in solid form, not teleported. And I've done this before. When I'm in the presence of an alien, they can just walk through a wall. I don't know how they do it. If they're changing the molecular structure of the wall, I don't know. But it's like the wall's not there, and you just walk through it.
Actually, I've seen human beings do this.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this guy that I used to train with, he's a kung fu master, my friend Julio, was able to put himself in a trance-like state through meditation and then put his hand right into a solid object and then pull it out.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've never heard of anyone doing anything like that. People say that they can do things like that, and I've never seen it.
I've seen him do it right in front of my eyes. He used to, he was trained from a child, though, with really strange stuff. And he'd go to these, he went to all these conventions and stuff with Patrick Flanagan, where Patrick Flanagan was doing stuff back there with, back in the day with Pyramid Power and all this stuff. His mother would take him to these things when he was a kid. So he was trained from a child in the strange arts. So, yeah, it was pretty interesting. He's the one who showed me a lot of stuff. Really weird things like telekinesis and things like that.
But it's definitely not something that happens every day, walking through a wall. But I didn't tell the ending part. When we walked back into the janitor's closet, right? So then I see the janitor standing there. He's still frozen, and then let's see what happened next. There was more communication between me and the being, and I don't remember what he was saying, but there was communication, and I just remember being aware of the janitor and seeing that the janitor was not totally switched off, that he had an expression on his face. He was looking at us. I could see he was lucid. He wasn't moving, but he was lucid. And then the alien left again, turned into a ball of light, teleported through the wall, and the janitor came back too, totally woke up. And I just looked at him and got the hell out of there. I walked out because I was half still in the trance state or something. I was just like going automatically, and I just wanted to get out of there because I was afraid at that point. And the next day is when the janitor came up to me, and he told me, he said, "Hey, I need to talk to you." Pulled me aside, and he said, "I saw you yesterday coming through that wall with that strange creature." He said, "What was that? Do you know what's going on? There's something going on." He said, "You're in danger." And he was scared, man. He was like shaking. I'll never forget that.
Yeah, that's pretty freaky, man. When you think you might have been dreaming it or something, or then somebody tells you they saw it.
That's
wow.
It's like, because, I have past experiences, right? So then I have a reference for it, so I'm accustomed to it. Like when an event like that would happen, all of a sudden I'd remember the past events, and then it would go away, and I would have this periodic awareness where it would go away. But in that particular day, though, after that same day when it happened, the actual ending of the event was I walked down the hallway. When I was going up the staircase to get back to the classroom, the class bell rang, and then all the kids came down the stairwell, and I remember this one kid who was always used to give me a hard time and criticize me about stuff. I really didn't like this kid, and he stopped me on the steps, and he accused me of cutting class. And I said, "What are you talking about? I just left the class to take a 5-minute bathroom break." I just thought 5 minutes had gone by, and he said, "You left the classroom 40 minutes ago." He said the period was over, and I think the whole next period had finished too. But I had lost 40, 50 minutes of time.
It's wild how Wolfman during the middle of school.
Yeah.
During the middle of school.
I mean,
Hey,
Adam's got a story. I don't know if he wants to tell it tonight. Where there was I'm pretty sure. I'm just totally shortening the story, but if he wants to tell the longer version, where he recalls pretty much the whole classroom. There was a UFO that landed out of the schoolyard, and
oh my God,
the whole classroom saw it. Was that the same event or during a different time, Adam, when that experience happened?
Oh, that was a totally different event. Yeah, that was another day, another time. No, actually, I was much younger. That was when I was 8 years old. The walking through the walls when I was 13. Yeah, that was during the day.
Tell Wolfman what happened when you were 8, because that was a mind blower.
Yeah,
you even drew pictures of that and posted on your site for a while. Do you still have those up?
I deleted my old YouTube. No, I don't have them up, but they're going to be up for the interview.
For the show?
Okay, they'll be up somewhere. I sent him all those drawings.
Right on.
Yeah, he's got that. But, yeah, did you just want me to give you a real brief?
Yeah, go for it. I mean, as long as you're awake, tell the story.
I'm thinking I'm going to play a song first, because I need a short break, because I was working my ass off in between the two shows to get it back on the air, so I got to take a little break. Is that okay with you guys?
Yeah.
I'm just going to play a song that'll give us 5 minutes, and then we'll be right back.
Cool.
And this is the B-52s. Yeah, man. Rockin' with the Wolfman on Monster Castle Paranormal Radio. I guess it did end. It's a good thing I checked. Wow. Too many things going on at once here. I got Anthony Barnet, I believe, from France. He likes to give me some news items, and he's posted some news items on our Facebook. So if anyone wants to go and check that out, that's pretty cool stuff. The grandfather.
So is Anthony Barnet on the show right now, or he just posted some stuff on the site?
He's on Twitter.
Okay.
And yeah, he posted some stuff on our Facebook page, which is Monster Castle Paranormal. You find it on Facebook real easily. So, yeah. What the hell?
Is he posted it in the hashtag 47talk? You remind him to put the hashtag 47talk on anything he posts so we could see it faster.
Oh, I think I know what I did wrong. I think I cut the song off when I went to check the Facebook. Yeah, it cut off. Yeah, I know what I did now. Yeah, oops, my bad. Trying to do too many things at once.
Yeah.
And I'm getting starting to feel the effects of the beer. Drink another one, Wolf man. Yeah. I cut off Planet Claire by the B-52s. How could you do that?
That was a killer song too. I was starting to groove on that one.
Man. Let's see.
Adam, you like music? Don't you play a lot of music, Adam, occasionally?
Oh yeah, I did. I cut the ending off on that song.
And I heard, I have 5 brothers and sisters growing up. I heard all the bands from the classic era of rock.
Yeah, you're. I think you're our age. You're close to near 50, aren't you? Pretty much.
I'm 54.
Yeah.
Just turned 54.
Are you the oldest or youngest? I forget. You might have mentioned before. I don't remember.
I'm the second to the youngest. I've got an older sister who's 60.
Wow. What about you? I don't know if you've ever talked about your sister. Do you guys ever discuss this, or does she have any experiences that you know of, or how does that work?
She has had 1 or 2 experiences which are not as incredible as mine. We have discussed it. She has a family, and she has kids in college, and so she's real busy. We don't see each other a lot, but we have discussed it in the past. When she had a, I helped with multiple abductions, so I remember being taken with her when she was a teenager, and I remember very vividly her being taken out of the room, but we never discussed that. Like, she never said that she had memories, although she told me that she had about